Back down memory lane. Back down memory lane. What's going on, people? I want to talk about something briefly. As you probably see on this particular interesting this interesting topic, to say the least. Um, I I don't know why people expect me to not tell the truth. I don't know why people think that anybody here I don't know why people expect anybody here on this particular thing. I'm just gonna sit up here and, pull my pants to the side and start, shucking and jiving. Well, that ain't what I do over here. I don't shuck and jive because what y'all think. Ain't no shucking and jiving over here. I find it funny that people want to use guys like Lamar Jackson as a standard when it comes down to numbers, but when it comes down to everybody else, the numbers don't matter. No, they don't matter. Yeah. Let me say it again. It don't matter. It doesn't matter with everybody else, but it matters with a guy like Lamar Jackson. And y'all know how I am. D Sloan, what's going on? Y'all know how it is. I like to go to itself. See, I want to read a comment. I want to read a comment because it's funny to me that comments like this, comments like this is really funny. It's hilarious. I mean, it's freaking hilarious, people. Because you like to put me in my place, but y'all really love to put me on my. Come on, man, Mike, you can't say it if you do oppose it. All right, so I'm just gonna read a series of comments. All right, so Sweetness said, "Sweetness the butter, whatever the hell kind of name that is. You know who you are." He said, "I try to tell folks when Justin played at UGA and couldn't beat out from and had to transfer. If Kirby didn't see anything in him, I knew dude was trash. But folks always have their bias and preferences. Just because you can run and have a decent arm don't make you a good quarterback. It just means you were an elite athlete." So I appreciate you for that comment. Mila Mills, what's going on? I want to bring up this one. It's from Mike Smith. You know who you are. And y'all know I got an answer for everything, especially when it comes down to quarterbacks. He said, "Come on, Mike, why?" I would just put it this way. If you polled all 32 teams and all 32 teams would pick Fields over Ritter, if you look at the whole quarterback draft, Lawrence, Fields, Jones, Wilson, Lance are all determined. None have shined. And I'm not saying Fields is great, but Ritter wouldn't get picked over none of those guys I named above in 2021 draft class. He is career backup, and that's fine. He can feed his family off of that. You said a whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing in that. See, this is where I get pissed off because motherfuckers start using all this. Everybody start using all these fucking. I don't give a flying freak about what the hell his skill sets are. The Negro can run fast. Okay? Boo fucking who the whoop they fucking do. Another black nigga that can run fast. But when his ass can't, I'm trying to write a fucking check that his ass can't cash, you motherfucker get quiet. What happened to all the, oh my God, he's helping Philadelphia, he's helping Pittsburgh win games, and then comes in with an alleged washed up Russell Wilson comes in and take his job and plays well. But y'all up here singing goddamn whip-de-doo because the motherfucker can run a 4.42. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Kiss my natural black hiney. If you sitting up here celebrating the motherfucker going to a what? Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers, now he with the damn Jets. And they didn't even give him a long-term deal. They said, nigga, come over here and get these $20 million a year and be our quarterback. Maybe one day you could possibly do something. Come in here and throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. You motherfuckers up here celebrating this man getting backup money. You niggas are celebrating Justin Fields up here being the quarterback for the awful Jets. And you got the nerve to come over here and say something about Mike. Come on? Come on for what? Nigga, I can look at a backup quarterback on the damn internet. I don't need to see Justin Fields for this bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers want me to celebrate a nigga that can't even throw for 2,800 yards. But you want me to shit on Desmond Ritter. You want me to crap all on Desmond Ritter when this nigga hadn't even thrown more yards than Desmond Ritter. You want me to call Lamar Jackson an MVP when he doesn't even have more career yards than someone. Let me show you. Let me show you this again. Let me read up some numbers when it comes down to this guy again. Cause this is awful. This awful funny that this crap goes down all the dang on time. 20,000 yards passing for Mr. One Lamar Jackson. You know how many passing yards that Marcus Mariota has thrown in his career? Guys like Marcus Mariota. Don't start that punk ass shit. You know why. Don't start that hiding. Look, now y'all want to put. See, there you go, Millie. There you go. Oh, man, gotta come up because he fucking sucks too. Prior to this year, this nigga didn't have more yards than fucking Marcus Mariota. Lamar don't look. This dude, Marcus Mariota, has lost his job 2 times over and still had more passing yards than Lamar Jackson. This is what I mean. Look, as soon as somebody's name comes up, fuck the stats. The hell with the stats. Y'all want to throw the stats out of the world when you like somebody, baby. Y'all want to throw the stats out when you like somebody. Prior to this 24 season, Marcus Mariota, who was a backup in Washington with the Washington Commanders, had more passing yards than Lamar Jackson. Think about that. Desmond Ritter still at this point in his career has had a season where he threw 2,800 yards. Anybody want to take a wild guess what Justin Fields' numbers are? In his career? Anybody want to take a wild guess at what his best passing performance as a quarterback? Like, oh, if you just poll the NFL teams and the teams will tell you about the teams will tell you what? Oh, the teams will tell you that this man he's better than Desmond Ritter. Okay, so why Desmond Ritter put up big announcements? Oh my God, Mike, it can't be serious, Mike. It can't be serious, Mike. I mean, he has so many more weapons than Justin Fields about it. So Justin Fields never happened? No, Mike, I'm not saying that, but he has more than. So let me get this right. So when a guy like Matt Ryan lost his number one, number two receivers and still threw for damn near what? How many yards? 4,000 yards. When guys like Harry Douglas, guys like Russell Gage, these guys will never be caught and say, yeah, these are number one receivers. So it's all good when Matt Ryan can throw for trash from big time numbers with trash receivers. And he's done it more than once. But when a guy like Justin Fields has trash, then it's their fault. So you want to pick and choose whose fault it is, instead of being honest. If you're such a great athlete, if you're such a great talent, why does Desmond Trash Ritter has more passing yards in a season than you? Yeah, that was my SpongeBob voice. So, why? Explain that to me. Why is it that you go to a team with the Pittsburgh Steelers and you have George Pickens on the team? It's not enough. But Russell Gage made it enough. Russell Wilson made it enough. Why is it that Russell Wilson, who's allegedly done, washed, was able to do something with that talent? Why is it that he was able to do something with that talent and the mystical Justin Fields? The dude had 2,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 11 games. And got bested by old beat up Russell Wilson. But tell me that Mike is tripping. Y'all see, this is where it goes wrong. This is where it goes left. And man, Mike can't understand the fans. Desmond Ritter was set up to succeed with what the here Tanky Poo with his dumb shit again. Listen to dumb shit. Now let me hear you. Let me read this out to y'all. This is how fucking stupid this is. Desmond Ritter was set up to succeed with the Falcons, and the Justin Fields was not with the Bears. Okay. What about the Steelers? Stop fucking lying to yourself, okay? I know you like to see that nigga run. I know you like to see his thighs and his ankles and all that type of shit. I know you do, Tanky Poo. Because you're not making any sense. You wanted to keep throwing it back to the Bears, and then he had an opportunity to do the same thing with Pittsburgh, but the nigga still didn't do it in Pittsburgh when he had better weapons, he had a better offensive line, he had better coaches, and he had better receiver. But the nigga still lost the damn job. So how is it that Desmond Ritter still got more passing yards than this Negro in a season? How? Is it that he's stupid? Is it that he's not as talented as y'all think he is? Or it's just everybody else's fault? It's the coaching fault? It's the player's fault? It's the general manager's fault? Whose fault is it that Justin Fields still hasn't come into his own? And then he gets an opportunity. This is the funny part about you guys' statement. You say, well, if you poll all 38, well, all 38 teams did not. They passed on them. It's only one team that said, oh, Justin Fields, come be our quarterback. Why? Because they got rid of Aaron Rodgers. They got rid of Zach Wilson. They didn't have a fucking choice. Now, we're not going to talk about that South Side. DJ Moore was never there, according to these guys. The only explanation is that two different types of play styles. No, that's not true at all. Both of those guys ran the same RPO systems in college. It is not a two set. It's different talent levels, but it's not two different playing styles because it's not. Desmond used his legs a lot in college. He uses his arm a lot in college. In fact, if you look at it in college, Desmond Ridder was the better college quarterback. Justin Fields had the better overall talent because he went to two big-time schools, and that's the University of Georgia and the University of Athlete State, a.k.a. Ohio State. So if you can't get your job, if you're such a great talent, why are you losing about an old washed up Russell Wilson? That's what they say. He's a good washed up quarterback. If he's so bad of a quarterback, Jets sign him because they ain't got no goddamn choice. They are rebuilding over there. You act like they signed him to a 5-year, $180 million deal like Kirk Cousins. No, nigga. You said, hey, come over here and get him $40 million. We gonna make you the quarterback. And if he get it right this year, he may. But they didn't give him those contract that say, yeah, we're confident that you're gonna be our quarterback for the future. They gave him $40 million. They gave him a 2-year, 40. I think it was like $40 million. Cool. See what's going on. It was 2 years. You act like that ain't gave him a full year, $180 million like Kirk Cousins. No, Negro. That ain't no vote of confidence. Come on, yo. Here he go. Well, why did he sign Desmond Ridder? Because they didn't want him. Like, what the fuck is you talking about? Like, he act like he saying some, oh, why did you sign him in? Because they didn't want him. Duh. They could have signed Russell Wilson. They could have signed Jameis Winston, but they didn't do that either. There's other 31 other teams, 30 other teams that could have, would have, should have, but they didn't want them. That doesn't necessarily mean the guy's better or worse. They didn't want him. He doesn't fit what they wanted to do. The Jets still don't know what they want to do with Justin Fields besides throw the ball to Garrett Wilson. So you got this contract. You looking at this contract with them. So this contract with Justin Fields is, again, 2-year deals. This is a 2-year deal. 30 of it is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something too about that $30 million guaranteed. In 2026, they can decide to give them to get rid of them, and it's still not been one of those contracts. It's not going. It's a void year, so essentially, year is one of them play-in contracts. If you do good, the money will come. If you do well, the money will come with Justin Fields. It's not a vote of confidence for him. This is what they hope he could be, a quality quarterback. Just quality. So all I'm saying when we talk about this particular issue is that when are we going to look at the actual stats and be honest about it? When are we going to be looking at the actual talent and be honest about it? And that's what we're going to have the show at 6 o'clock. We'll talk to the sixth man, Mr. One Drill. We're going to have this conversation. Y'all might want to stay into Mr. White, OG Sam. He going to speak on this. Because I think it's funny that when guys who are popular, they struggle, we make a 15 billion excuses for them. But when guys like Matt Ryan don't have, and I'm not just talking about Matt Ryan, there's been instances where Drew Brees lost his number one, number two receivers, and he still put up big numbers. Decent, great. I mean, some damn good numbers, some decent numbers. But you telling me that a guy that's so much more talented than Desmond Ritter, that he can't put up more than 2,500 yards in a season? But I'm supposed to believe y'all when y'all say that if you take up X amount of teams, poll X amount of teams, everybody gonna say Justin Fields. Of course they gonna say it. The Negro runs a 4.4. Desmond does it. Runs about a 4.5. He's no slouch at being a mobile quarterback himself. In fact, I think we should know that because he had an opportunity to beat us last year. So I just find it funny that we hang on to people's talent, their abilities, their God-given talents. We hang on to that and forget the fact that they can't read defenses. We don't care about their ability to read defenses. We don't care about their ability to get the ball into playmakers' hands. They don't care about any ability to be a good leader. They don't care about any of that. There's two teams. This guy had two opportunities, 4 years plus, to prove that he's an adequate quarterback, and he's failed. And you find yourself in quarterback misery with the franchise is one of the worst franchises in history, and that's the New York Jets. That's what we're saying about y'all acting like we don't see him getting better every year. Well, he hasn't gotten better. Tell me where Lamar Jackson has gotten better. Because every one of his numbers it's the same thing. His play style is the same. Nothing about his passing game has gotten better. How do I know this? When you play the elite team, the good teams, he fails. Because we talked about this. You take away those 1,900 yards rushing, almost 2,000 yards rushing. Do you think that Lamar passed for 4,000 yards? Let's be real about it. Let's have the conversation. Y'all want to have the conversation about Lamar? Let's do it. If Derrick Henry is not the running back and he doesn't run for 1,900 yards, do you guys really think that that offense is number one? Do you really think that this guy passes for 4,000 yards? Let's be real about it. So we're going to have the conversation. Because the question you asked me, has Lamar Jackson gotten better as a passer? There's no proof to say this guy's gotten better. How do I know this? What are wide receivers? Why is the offensive coordinator saying himself that we need to do a better job? We need to do a better job of getting the ball into the wide receiver's hands. Why is he saying that? Why is it that every time he goes in the offseason, he say he need to lose weight and get faster? These are things that I ain't making up. Come on, let's talk about it. Answer the dang on question. I don't need y'all to run and duck and hide and say, "Oh, I'm off my lunch break." Come on, bring your answers, bring the comments. Y'all want to have a conversation? Let's talk about it. Pocket presence, timing, hot routes, reading. Nigga, he's running in circles and he's still not throwing to his wide receivers. So prove to me that he is getting better as a passer. Standing in the pocket where the offensive line is holding the defense back. They're doing their job as offensive linemen and keeping the defense off of him. How is that proving that Lamar Jackson is getting better as a quarterback? Him being standing in the pocket does not prove that he's a better quarterback. It proves that they have a good team. That doesn't prove that he's a good quarterback. That is called protection. Reading defenses. Still, in his career, still struggling to get the ball into the wide receiver's hands. Why has it been 3 years in a row with 2 years with Zay Flowers, and then you get in the playoffs with Zay Flowers, and automatically nobody can get the ball to him? No. You said he hasn't gotten better. He hasn't gotten better. He has not. Pocket presence. Okay, what does pocket presence mean? The bill is step up, step right, step this. Lamar Jackson's been doing the same thing in the pocket. Standing there, run to the right, run to the right, run to the right, run to the right, stand there, run to the right, Tell me when I'm wrong. They put him in the shotgun. How many times do you see Lamar Jackson in the base formations, under center? Y'all want to talk about it. How many times do you see Lamar Jackson in under center? Because we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it. You brought up Lamar Jackson. Tell me how many times have you seen him in the shotgun versus under center? No. You brought it up. No. Answer, y'all, you said it. You said this. Everybody want to quit talking when I ask questions. Everybody want to quit pocket. You said pocket presence. How many times? Because pocket presence isn't just standing in the pocket and sitting there. Pocket presence is the ability to move to the right, the left, step up in the pocket. When you're under pressure, being able to evade pressure, go to the left, It's the same thing with Lamar. Almost every game, he stands in the shotgun, stands in the shotgun, stands in the shotgun, run to the right, extend the play, run left, run right. That's all. That's what he's been doing all year and most of his career. You said he hasn't. You said it's about improving. He hasn't improved. You said reading defenses. How can you prove that Lamar Jackson is reading the defense well if he's not getting the ball to all his playmakers? Since he's been in the league, it's been tight ends and running backs with him. This is how you know when a quarterback has improved. You can put him in any situation as a quarterback, under center. You can have him roll to the left, roll to the right. His ability to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers at once in games. And not just hit the same players and tight ends over and over again. His ability to get everyone involved in the offense, not just himself, not just the tight end Andrews and the tight end Likely and the running back Justin. I forget the guy's name, but the running back. Those are the guys week after week. All those guys get the ball. No. We talking about quarterbacks. You talking about quarterbacks. You can't tell me that LG ain't better. What is he better at? He's better at being a better version of Lamar Jackson? Yes. He's a better version of Lamar Jackson. But if you tell me that he's a better quarterback, there's no proof to say that he's a better quarterback. Why? Why am I saying this? It's the same thing year after year. This year, it's different. Why? Because you brought in Derrick Henry that rushed for 1,900 yards, and it opened up the passing lane for quarterbacks. Passing lane protection is one of those things for quarterback. You give any quarterback a time enough in that pocket. You give them a elite running game, and we shouldn't know this because we have a damn good elite running game. You go from Jamal Anderson, Devontae Freeman. These guys weren't even first-round picks. But when they came to the Atlanta Falcons, and we had an old beat-up Chris Chandler, he took us to the Super Bowl because we ran the ball and ran the ball well. The spacing for the Atlanta Falcons was so much better. So the question is, when it comes down to Lamar Jackson, is the offense surrounding Lamar Jackson is the reason why he's able to put up such great money. Because when you ask him to be a quarterback and throw the ball 40, 50 times, oftentimes it's 2 or more interceptions and mistakes, fumbles, and all these things. When he's asked to actually throw the ball, Lamar Jackson, they had the least amount of passing attempts. I think they was like second or last in passing attempts. So how are you a better quarterback if you're not throwing the ball as much as all the other quarterbacks? Wouldn't that amount to more passing attempts if he was a better quarterback? So the question lies with the Baltimore Ravens. They do an excellent job of highlighting what Lamar Jackson does to win games. But to win games is a team issue, a coaching issue. It put Lamar Jackson in a position where he can get wins with his team. And Lamar Jackson does a good job of not doing too damn much. He'll run around in circles before he throw a bad interception, which is a good trait, but that doesn't prove that he's a better quarterback. He got a second contract because he's great for what they do. I didn't say he was a bum. I'd say he wasn't a good quarterback. You said he hasn't improved. Y'all said Lamar Jackson has improved as a quarterback. I say he hasn't. There's no proof to say Lamar Jackson got better as a quarterback. Because if that was so, why isn't anyone taking into account that this team had? Why hasn't anybody taken into account that this guy had 1,900 yards rushing? That means nothing. How you win 2 MVPs and say he isn't a good quarterback? See, Tanky Poo got his head up Lamar Jackson behind, because that's not what I said. No, I don't think anybody in this chat said Lamar Jackson sucks. You guys said he improved as a quarterback, and you can't prove without saying the same shit over and over. Oh, he won 2 MVPs. Yeah, he ran 2 MVPs because he rushed for damn near 1,000 yards every year. Take that away and tell me that he's gotten better as a quarterback. Take the rushing yards away and you prove to me that he's a better quarterback. You can't do it. Don't tell me. I don't need to be real. I need you to give me. I'm wrong. Falcons fans, Lamar Jackson fans, NFL fans, Mad Mike is wrong. You have all the answers. Prove to me that I am absolutely wrong without saying, oh, Lamar won 2 MVPs. Prove to me that he's gotten better as a quarterback. Joseph, what's going on? You see, here's the waiting game, y'all. Here's the waiting game. Then he's like Tanky Poo up here talking about his numbers have improved. No, they haven't. He's still not getting the ball to his wide receivers. He's still checking the ball to running backs and tight ends. He can't get the ball to the third, fourth, and fifth receiver to save his own damn life. Outside of Bateman, outside of Flowers, no other wide receivers on that team has caught the ball over 15 fucking times. But you're trying to tell me with a straight face that this dude is a better quarterback. His numbers are improved as a passer. Prove it. I'm waiting. Because like I said, I want to see something. Show me. Show me, sir. Y'all show me. Last year's numbers say you're wrong. Look, I'm giving y'all stats. You still haven't given me not one damn stat. I said outside of his tight end number 1, his tight end number 2, and his running back coming out of the backfield, no other receiver outside of Zay Flowers and Bateman caught the ball over 15 times. No receiver. Oh, so now he don't. You see, it goes right back to blaming the talent. When Lamar can't do it, it's blame the. Oh, we don't have the talent. So you telling me right now that Zay Flowers sucks? Because that's what I'm hearing. All of a sudden, Zay Flowers suck. I mean, it's interesting that a guy like Sam Darnold got better as a quarterback. These guys got better as a quarterback, but you bring in the Derrick Henry and they hold the ball for damn near 35 minutes a game, and all of a sudden Lamar Jackson is a legendary quarterback. But tell me how many times have you saw him last year in his time have comeback wins and had to throw this team back into a game? You don't really see that, do you? Oh, so Zay Flowers isn't a legit number one receiver. Okay. So if that's the case, why does Minnesota think, why does the Baltimore Ravens think the opposite? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. This man, look at this, y'all. Look, y'all hear this. Lamar Jackson revitalized Derrick Henry. He was declining before. He was declining before. How many times have we said that about Derrick Henry? He didn't look like he was declining last year. So let me hit. So what you're saying, Tanky Poo, is to hell with the fact that this man runs and exercises like a fucking demon, that he was only good because he played with Lamar Jackson, because that's what it sounds like you're saying. If he played anywhere else, you wouldn't have got 1,900 yards. That's what you're telling me? That's what it sounds like. You say he was available. You're telling me Lamar Jackson was the reason why Derrick Henry is quote unquote revitalized? The guy ran for 1,100 yards in Tennessee. The fact of the matter is Tennessee just didn't want him anymore. I'm not going to argue with you guys in regards to Zay Flowers, whether he had number one and number two. But the fact of the matter is he's not getting the ball when and in the areas that he needs to because of his quarterback. So let me ask y'all this. Since Zay Flowers isn't a number one, is Andrews and Likely both number one tight ends? And I'm talking about receiving tight ends. Are they number one tight ends? Well, you consider those guys just as good as a number one or a number two receiver? That's the question I have right now. We're going to take Zay Flowers out of it. We're going to take Bateman out of it and say, all right, let's say that those guys suck. Are they legitimate number one receiving threats? Tank, you done lost that, bro. Like, you can't say this man ain't the best, that he ain't the same when he rushed for 1,900 yards. You gonna down that hill by yourself. I don't think nobody gonna ain't nobody gonna back you over that dumb crap. Because Andrews and Likely are the best tandem, but they aren't. See, that's the head of the nigga go. Here you go again, y'all. He take away from their talent. So they are the best tandems at tight end, but they not wide receivers. Are they a legitimate receiving threats? Because this is your word, sir. So if they aren't legitimate receiving threats, but somehow he was able to make Derrick Henry better, that's real interesting. He made Derrick Henry better, but he could not make these alleged best receiver tight ends better. That statement in itself is kind of interesting. Don't you think, people? Don't you think that if Lamar Jackson made Derrick Henry better, but he couldn't make the alleged best tight end duo in the league better, why is it that? I'm waiting for the answer. Because you said he was able to make Derrick Henry better, but he couldn't make those guys better. Because he's a great quarterback, right? He's a great quarterback, but he wasn't able to make Andrews and Likely better. Think about that. Think about that for a second, fellas. You said he was able to make Derrick Henry better, but he wasn't able to make those guys better. He wasn't able to make Rashad Bateman better. See, here you go. Look, I don't want to hear that bullshit about no Justin Jefferson and all that shit. Shut that bullshit up. He wanna bring everybody else superstar wide receivers. But guess what? Guess what happened to them when they got to the playoff? Nothing. Their quarterback failed just like Lamar Jackson did. So he had 100, Bate had 750, Mark had 650. All had bad. Looks like my book spread the ball around. No, he passes the ball to tight ends. Those are different routes. Baltimore receivers run deep patterns. Their tight ends run a lot of drag routes, a lot of slant routes, and a lot of things on the side. They don't run a lot of deep patterns. Okay? So you can say a bunch of yards, but those guys aren't running yards. They get a lot of yak stuff. He's not passing the ball like most quarterbacks, and that's attacking downfield. That's not what Lamar does. This man has talent every year, and somehow he puts up the same numbers, and it's the same results. But you're trying to convince me. No, 3 of them wasn't wide receivers. 3 of those are not wide receivers. 2 of them are receivers. Likely is a tight end. Andrews is a tight end. I don't know where you get the third one from. Where's the third one come in at? Because from what I understand and what I'm looking at, Nelson Aguilar, Okay, so you're saying Nelson Aguilar. We okay. You do know how many catches Nelson Aguilar had, right? So y'all telling me Nelson Aguilar was a good? The dude caught 14 passes last year. He didn't touch the ball. This man had less than a catch a game, but you trying to convince me that Nelson Aguilar? All right, bro. Now, listen to this shit, y'all. Y'all hear it for yourself. This is how the fingers on these niggas be so dirty. The fingers on y'all so dirty is everybody else's fault except for Lamar. He's so great, he was able to make Derrick Henry great, but he couldn't make Zay Flowers great. He couldn't make Rashad Bateman great. He was able to make everybody else in that backfield great, but somehow the wide receivers and the tight ends catching 50 passes a year. But this guy's such an MVP and all that time, but he couldn't melt. Somehow he was unable. So you telling me a guy like, so you're telling me that the quarterback, that's one. Even the worst quarterbacks in the league was able to get one wide receiver 1,000 yards. How do I know this? Let me pull up some numbers for y'all because Zay Flowers had 1,000. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Like I've talked to a legend quarterback. He said if he would have had that many targets, he would have had 1,000 too. I've had these conversations with actual legends at receiver. Because it's amazing that a guy like Sam Darnold one. So Jalen Naylor was able to get 6 touchdowns, 28 catches as a third receiver. Somehow the Lamar legend who wasn't even able to get his third receiver 14 passes on the year, but I'm supposed to believe that this guy got better. No, I don't believe that he's a top 5 quarterback. Absolutely not. Lamar Jackson has never been a top 5 quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a top 5 quarterback based on what his abilities are. And most of his abilities is centered around his ability to scramble. When you ask Lamar Jackson to actually be a quarterback, that's when he struggles. So no, I don't think he's a top quarterback. I think he's a top playmaker. Lamar Jackson has always been a top playmaker. I think Dak Prescott is a better passer quarterback than he is. And I can prove that by looking at his numbers. I can prove that because he passes the ball to different receivers. And he's made guys much better. Lamar Jackson always has been a playmaker, but when you ask him to be a quarterback, that's when he falls short. The records speak for itself. when the defense plays well, you can't say it's all the defense, it's everybody else's fault, because when they had the opportunity to make those plays, Lamar, and they failed. Now, there are circumstances with drop passes here and there, but, for the most part, Lamar Jackson has been blowing people away with his numbers in the playoffs at all. JB, that's what I'm saying. See, they don't know the difference between playmaker and they don't know the difference between a quarterback. See, this is why I say you go back to that Philadelphia Eagles, Mike Vick. Mike Vick wasn't just a mobile quarterback. He was able to pass the ball in key situations and get the ball in his wide receiver's hands and make plays with his arm. Because they force Mike to be a quarterback first and then use his legs second. That's what Andy Reid always did. He teaches his quarterbacks, and he still does to this day, stay in the pocket. We're going to have some design runs, but I need you to stay in the pocket. Deliver the football. And if you have to extend, you do that. I need you to be a quarterback and get the ball into the receiver's hands. And that's receivers, first and foremost, tight ends, occasional running backs. But that's what I need you to do. And you saw that with Mike Vick. But when you talk about Lamar Jackson, in those key situations, he wasn't able to do those types of things. See, here we go. Oh, he had great receivers. Look, if it wasn't for a handful of games with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm just being honest about this, I've seen more out of Dak Prescott as a quarterback, a guy that stands in the pocket, take those hits, and not run around for 15 seconds backwards and forwards and backwards again and spinning and bro, that ain't quarterback play. That's backyard football. So we're going to end this, and we're going to have an extension of this conversation tonight. And I wanted to do this show because I wanted to kind of set you guys up for the night show, this evening show, 6 o'clock, because we're going to talk about the differences in talent and the difference in skills, quarterback skills and quarterback talent. Because some of you people, especially in this comment, in this chat, you people think talent and skills are the same thing. Like I said, see, what's going on? Last time I heard about Justin Fields was taking back kicks. That's what I'm talking about. Bro, what are we talking about? We're going to talk about the differences between talent and skills. Talent and skills. And this is why a guy like Lamar Jackson has not gotten better. Okay? We're going to talk about this because a lot of fans think the two are the same thing, and they're not. That's why you got guys in the NFL that put up better numbers. They are able to get the ball into different hands. You can't say a guy's a better quarterback and he's not throwing the ball. You can't be at the bottom of the league and passing attempt to say, yep, he's a better passer. Lamar Jackson is a scheme. He's in a scheme. He's a part of a scheme. And that Baltimore Ravens organization does a wonderful job of highlighting Lamar Jackson's overall skill set. But you put Lamar Jackson in a passing scheme, I guarantee his interceptions, turnovers go up. We already saw that. When they asked him to throw the ball more, Lamar Jackson isn't the same quarterback. When you ask him to run, extend, get the first down, hand the ball off, that's when he shines. But when you ask him to do quarterback things, not that. So, like I said, we're not talking about numbers. We're talking about proof. And if you can't prove to me that Lamar has gotten a better quarterback, because he hasn't, because his numbers got better, the proof is in the pudding. Lamar Jackson numbers got better when his running game, and you can look at it for yourself. When he have the best running game and the best running back, that's when his passing yards went up. The proof is there. Okay? The proof is in itself. Lamar Jackson has never thrown for 4,000 yards until a certain running back came to play for him. And that's the bottom line, people. Like I said, check us out. We're going to have an extension of this show on this topic. Different, but for the most part, we're going to talk about the difference between talent and skills. That's what y'all like. Y'all really like some speds. Like, y'all keep repeating the same shit over and over. Oh, he got 2 MVPs. Yeah, he with those 2 MVP, he still didn't pass for 4,000 yards. So y'all can keep that cockamamie bullshit for somebody who gives a flying fuck and somebody who don't know football. Because anybody who know football ain't buying that bullshit that y'all saying. The nigga ran for 40 fucking he had about 40 fucking touchdowns. And all of it had to do with him running. He won those MVP because he was damn near 800, 900, 1,000 yards rushing each year. So keep that bullshit to you somebody who ain't stupid and who ain't slow and who don't know nothing about football. And K-Style, that's it. We about to talk about prepare for this show. But like I said, I find it really interesting that, again, Lamar Jackson, every time he has an MVP season, they either bring in a new coach or they bring in a new player. Just think about that for a second. Let me say this again. Every time he has a good year and a great year, it's because they brought in good players and a new scheme. And that's the bottom line because I said so.